part 3. So what does this look like? How do we get out? How do we get out of a trauma bond? First, you need to seek out a licensed trauma therapist, in particular, that understands narcissistic abuse and any sort of abuse cycle that we tend to be in when we are trying to leave an abusive person. So, what is the first thing you need to do? You need to reach out to a licensed professional, because most of the time that you're still in a situation with an abusive person and you feel like you are stuck and you can't leave is because you are severely lacking self-worth and are a shell of who you used to be, and have things like massive levels of depression and anxiety and are not being able to function very well. So being with a person who is a professional who can help you walk through some of these emotions and feelings are really, really, really important. Secondly, there is the no contact rule. This is the hardest part about breaking a trauma bond because it's an addiction. So if you're anybody that is familiar with any sort of addiction, whether it be alcohol, drugs, eating disorders can be addictive, obsessive compulsive behavior. There's codependency and trauma bonds go hand in hand. So these are, again, it's taking the stability that you've tried to create in your world with this person who is not necessarily healthy, and it's going to be taking that away. And that is incredibly scary for people, especially if you have rejection trauma and abandonment trauma. This makes it even harder to leave a person. And often people who have abandonment issues will stay in abusive relationships because they're not used to being in a healthy environment. They don't have any neurotypical relationship to compare it to. So you will stay with a abusive person because, especially with a narcissist, they'll breadcrumb you. They'll give you little bits and pieces of what you think are good enough and take, and then you will continue to take the rest of the maltreatment as well, which is what is so damaging. So going no contact, staying in no contact, getting into therapy, doing yoga, mind, body work, meditation all day long, self-affirmations, journaling, writing a love letter to yourself every night and building up that self-worth is so, so imperative. Dialectical behavior therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, somatic therapy, rewiring the brain, neuroplasticity. I use oils. As you guys know, I'm a holistic health coach, so I use the essential oils to help rewire the brain and release trauma. So that is what you need to do to break a trauma bond.